Hello, and welcome to the Birds in Winter series. My name is Jen Bulava, and I'm the lead naturalist for the Burlington County Park System. This multi-part series details all different aspects of birds and bird behavior found in our area of New Jersey in the wintertime. In Part 3, we looked at the resident and migratory water birds that are here in the winter. In this part, we'll take a look at the resident and migratory raptors and woodpeckers. The birds of prey are also known as raptors, which have special adaptations for catching, tearing, and eating meat. As you can see in the pictures, they have hooked beaks, talons, and fantastic eyesight. They include vultures, hawks, eagles, falcons, and owls. Vultures are nature's garbage men. They eat dead animals, also known as carrion, and without them we would have a lot of smelly, decaying animals lying around. Both the turkey vulture and the black vulture are resident here. Some turkey vultures from northern areas migrate south in the winter. Bald eagles eat fish, carrion, ducks, muskrats, and rodents. Unlike other birds that mostly nest in the spring, bald eagles in New Jersey nest in the wintertime, generally between January and March. We have bald eagles in just about all of our county parks, and we have one nesting pair near the fairgrounds. Eagles are resident in our area of New Jersey, but there are many migratory eagles that pass through and actually overwinter in various areas of New Jersey where there are very large open water bodies, like the Delaware Water Gap and the Delaware Bay. So the time when we have the most bald eagles in New Jersey is the colder months, in the wintertime, when we have both resident and overwintering migratory eagles. Red-tailed hawks are resident and are by far the most common hawk we see here. They prefer to eat rodents, but they are opportunistic. They're highly adaptable to man-made landscapes. The red-shouldered hawk is about the same size as a red-tailed hawk, but much less common. They eat mostly reptiles and amphibians in the summer, but switch to eating small mammals and birds in the winter. They are considered resident in New Jersey, but those from Canada and New England will migrate south as far as Mexico. The next group of hawks are known as accipiters. These are small, agile hawks that hunt small birds in the woods. In our area, we have the Coopers and sharp-shinned hawks, which look very much the same. The sharp-shinned is simply a smaller version of the Cooper's hawk. The adults of both species are gray with rusty horizontal barring on the front, and the immatures are brown with vertical streaks on the front. They can both be found year-round now in New Jersey. Sharp-shinned hawks used to be migratory, and we didn't see them here in the winter. But due to generally milder winters and lots of bird feeders, they don't have to migrate as far. So now we see both. Northern harriers are hawks that we see over open fields and also large wetlands like marshes. They are excellent hunters, flying low over the grasses. You'll see they have a long rectangular tail, and one of the best field marks is the white rump patch, which is easy to see from a distance. They have a facial disc that's similar to owls, and that is for hearing the slightest movement of rodents in the grasses. Harriers are generally migratory in our area, but we see them for the longest amount of time, longer than any other migratory raptor in North America. They seem to arrive in the fall, they're here for the winter, and then they stay for a while in the spring, so the only time we really don't see them is in the summer when they prefer to nest further north. They nest on the ground, and due to habitat loss and rising sea level, it's very rare to have harriers breeding in New Jersey. Rough-legged hawks are a highly migratory species that come from the Arctic tundra. Only in certain winters, when they migrate as far south as New Jersey, are we lucky enough to occasionally see one. They have feathers that cover their legs completely, which gives them their common name. And they're found in large expanses of open fields or marshes. And the only place we have seen them in Burlington County are the fields near the fairgrounds, which is where the photo on the right was taken. They eat small mammals and are often seen hunting with harriers. And the next group of raptors are the falcons. Falcons have very different wings from the hawks we just looked at. Their wings are very pointed, triangular, and wedge-shaped. Falcons also have these malar stripes on their faces that look kind of like sideburns. There's 3 species of falcons found in our area at different times of the year, and they include the kestrel, that's the smallest, the Merlin, which is a little bit bigger, and then the largest, which is the Peregrine Falcon. It turns out the Peregrine Falcon is actually the fastest animal recorded on Earth. They reach 45 to 55 miles per hour when just cruising, but in a dive, they can reach speeds up to 273 miles per hour. Kestrels and peregrines are resident in our area of New Jersey, but migratory in northern regions. The Merlin is a brown falcon we only really see in the winter months in New Jersey, and generally between December and March. They breed in Canada and northern New England. You'll see them in various open areas with low vegetation, usually along water bodies like the Rancocas Creek. The adult on the right was photographed at Laurel Run Park. They eat birds up to the size of a pigeon. Peregrine falcons are resident in New Jersey, but still unfortunately an endangered species. They were considered extinct east of the Mississippi River due to DDT and were reintroduced in the 1980s. There are just about 32 active pairs today in New Jersey. They nest mostly on the Delaware River bridge crossings and on tall buildings and towers in the cities. So the best place to see them are parks near the Delaware River, like Amico Island, and that's where these 2 pictures of immature peregrine falcons were taken. While the raptors we just talked about hunt during the day, the owls hunt at night and have special adaptations for doing so. There are 4 owls that are here all year long: the barred owl, the barn owl, the screech owl, and the most common, the great horned owl. There are some migratory owls that come from the north that we sometimes see in the winter, but are quite rare. They include the short-eared, the long-eared, the saw-whet, and the snowy owl. They feed on rodents in a variety of habitats. The snowy owl and the short-eared owl prefer large expanses of fields or marshes, similar to a harrier. The long-eared owl prefers coniferous forests. I just wanted to quickly mention the belted kingfisher, even though it is not a raptor or a woodpecker. It's a bird that hunts for animal prey, mainly fish, and people often ask whether the kingfisher migrates like a lot of other fish-eating animals, but it does not. If the water bodies freeze, they will move to where there is flowing water, like the Delaware River, and if that freezes, they'll move only a short distance to find open water. In these pictures, you can see the male on the left and the female on the right. So next we'll take a look at the woodpeckers. Woodpeckers have a fantastic tool for accessing hidden insects in the winter. They're tough beaks that act like a jackhammer, so they can access various insects in different parts of their life cycle, egg, larva, pupa, etc., that are hidden inside trees. We have 6 species of resident woodpeckers here. The most common being the red-bellied woodpecker, just a terrible name, you see on the left, the northern flicker, and the downy woodpecker. The downy woodpecker often finds other tasty hidden insect treats from inside insect galls and praying mantis egg cases, like this one, in addition to tree cavities. The hairy woodpecker is its cousin, just a little bit larger with a longer beak. The pileated and red-headed woodpeckers are rare in our area of New Jersey, but are considered resident. There is just one migratory woodpecker that we have here, and that is the yellow-bellied sapsucker. They come from northern regions of Canada and New England and can be found in our area between October to April. They drill horizontal lines of holes in trees known as wells. And the woodpecker will visit the wells periodically throughout the day as the sap builds up in the wells and will feed on it along with insects that are drawn to the sap. Many other species are able to benefit from the sapsucker's efforts. I thought I would just take a moment to mention the brown creeper, which is not a woodpecker, but is often mistaken as one for its behavior of clinging to the side of trees. It has a stiff tail that uses it like a support, just like a woodpecker, but it's actually a songbird with a very different kind of beak. You can see it's curved for accessing bark crevices to find insects and spiders hidden inside. They breed just to the north of our area, but can be found in the colder months here between approximately October to April. They start at the base of a large tree and creep up in a spiraling pattern until they reach the top of the tree and then fly to the bottom of another tree and start over. They really look like moving bark. So I hope you learned some more about the birds that hunt for animal prey in the winter. I hope you'll tune in next time for the final part in the series. Thanks for watching.